Somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
It has always been a belief in our family that we had a covenant with the Almighty, a covenant which, if we did our part, that is to say, if we worked with and struggled with and for the people, that God would in turn make our lives meaningful and worthwhile. My name is Herbert Daniel Daughtry, Sr. I am the minister here at the House of the Lord in Brooklyn. I also serve as the national minister for the House of the Lord churches.
Reverend Daughtry has lived a life of sacrifice, all the way from where he started from, you know, in his younger year, in his youth.
I came out of the South, came to Brooklyn, New York, when I was about 12, and got lost in the asphalt jungle. Had my first arrest at 15, and then had the next 8 years of negative, destructive behavior, and ended up in the penitentiary. And it was then, 1953, that I committed my life to God through Jesus Christ. What the society think is punishment is generally turned around. When I went to jail, I became a celebrity. You know, hey man, Doc is in jail. And when I returned to the community, I was a hero. Man, you been to jail? Yeah, man, I've been to jail. Hey, the punishment, as the society thought it was implementing, really was feeding the very monster that they thought was killing. One of the striking memories I have is we lived at the dividing line. Looking southward was where white people lived. The houses were gleaming white, well-manicured lawns, streets clean. And then going northward, where black people lived, there were shanties, the streets were not paved, and I would stand and make that contrast, that comparison, and wonder why. I always had a sense of unfairness. There were several of us who had decided that we needed to bring change to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the largest concentration of people of African ancestry, and yet we were economically powerless, politically powerless.
I remember I didn't belong to any particular church, and I was looking for a church to belong to, and I was seeking a church that was involved in social justice issues. I decided to come to a rally that they had here at the church. You know, I saw that this church was about applying the gospel to the social conditions in our community.
One of the achievements about which I am most gratified and proud. In 1976, Randy Evans, a 15-year-old lad, was shot in the head by a police officer named Herbert Daughtry for no reason, absolutely no reason. The jury pretty much acquitted Officer Daughtry. We stepped forward and gave direction to the fury of the community. We boycotted for almost a year, and eventually we won a 10-point program from the business community. One of the programs was a Randolph Evans Memorial Scholarship. Every year, 10 college-bound students would receive $1,500 in the name of Randolph Evans.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
There come a time, ever so often in history, when a man and a moment meet. And when that time comes, earth-shaking events take place, and one who lived to see it should deem him or herself blessed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next First Family of the United States of America.
For me, I'm 78 years old, and I came out of Georgia, the blatant segregation of the South. I never thought that I'd live to see the day that there would be a person in the position that Obama has reached.
Just to think about the many sacrifices that we've gone through as a people, and to think about there was a time when our ancestors, could not even go to vote.
The only way our people could get into these state houses and city halls is through the back door, usually with mops and brooms.
You can do anything that you put your mind to. Nothing is too big that you can't overcome.
It turns a chapter in American history, and it sends a message across the ocean that America is in fact living out the true meaning of its creed.
Reverend Daughtry has been like a father figure to me. He has been a great role model just by seeing his courage of being able to speak truth to power and not be concerned about the repercussions that he may face. He represents the best of what it means to be an activist minister.
Somebody has said that we are happiest when we have found a cause to which we can give ourselves that is bigger than ourselves and that will outlive ourselves. And building a better world, however direction that should take, surely would be the highest of calling. Victor Hugo said, "Nothing is so powerful as an idea whose time has come."